Now, welcome to another edition of News from Naboo with Thor's Lightning Takes. And let's get right to the news.
Today we're going to open by talking about some Andor news. The actor who took over the role of Bail Organa, Benjamin Bratt, talked kind of about playing the role. And it's really interesting because he has some interesting takes on what he was doing, as well as a scene that he thought he should have been in but was not.
Okay.
Yes, this interview came from Entertainment Weekly. We know that he first showed up in episode 6 of the second season. He had a little bit more of a role for the second half, kind of an introduction to him. It was nice. It was refreshing.
Yeah, it was fine. I didn't mind the change. I mean, I wish Jimmy Smits could have reprised the role, which is no offense to him, but he did fine.
He's a busy man.
I'm sure he is.
They asked him if he felt pressure taking over the role. Obviously, it belonged to somebody else, and it's not like he wasn't around anymore. He was just a busy man. Ben says, the Star Wars fan base is very passionate about their subject and easily likes to share their opinion. And so I'd be lying if I said I didn't carry the weight of expectation in filling Jimmy's shoes. So I wanted to be very careful about whatever it was I was going to do to honor the legacy of the original character, but also within that find some wiggle room to do my own thing. At the end of the day, that's sort of my criteria for taking any role. Is there an opportunity here for me to do something that's going to be an interest of me? Because if it's of interest to me as an actor, as an artist, then the hope is the result will be of interest to the audience. But yes, with the unique set of circumstances here, there is a little bit of added pressure.
It's Star Wars. Star Wars fans demand
and like I said, it's
certain things.
Not like the original actor is gone, where we understand why you were cast. A little more leniency.
Yeah, I saw, I don't want to say upset, but I saw some people really questioning why he was recast, and then the explanation kind of came out, and I don't think anybody was too upset about it.
Right, I mean, it's not his fault if another actor is busy. That's how it happens.
Yeah, I think he filled the role nicely.
And I was definitely happy that he was there rather than go, well, Jimmy is busy, so we aren't using Bail at all. It would have felt almost empty, I feel, getting closer and closer to Rogue One, to go, where the heck is Bail Organa?
Yeah, he would have been missed. I think it would have felt odd to not have him in some of those scenes.
Very odd. So then we found out that Ben, he mentions he watched some past performances and stuff. He says, I rewatched Rogue One and Revenge of the Sith, but I'm very aware of the quality that he inherently holds that was probably responsible for casting him in the first place. He's a very elegant, graceful man, calm. There's an assuredness. There's an inherent leadership quality that he possesses, and so it was about kind of capturing the essence of his carriage and assuredness and the ability to be the calm in the eye of the storm.
So he didn't watch Kenobi. That's a good idea.
Yes. Why watch something that took place after, anyway? That far after.
Not after. I mean, it's still before his.
I don't want to think about it. I mean, the filming quality and stuff.
Oh,
he was trying to emulate original OG.
Well, that's still Jimmy Smits playing Bail. I mean, I don't know that I had any problem with Jimmy Smits, other than he was an idiot.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. Is somebody else was writing a man who is hiding from the Emperor, who's smart enough to pull off these espionage things, doesn't...
Gives, exact details and
here I am. I'm leaving you a voicemail.
Yeah.
Here's my voicemail. I'm giving you the exact information of everything that I've...
Luke is on Tatooine. He is the son of Anakin Skywalker.
As you'll remember.
I have the other twin on
Let me give you
she's kidnapped. Yeah, it's like, what? I mean, that was maybe an exaggeration of what he said, but it wasn't too much of one, unfortunately.
But it is good that he studied original work and tried to emulate the quality that was presented there.
I thought he pulled it off pretty well.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't really know the actor or really think about it, you probably were like, oh yeah, it's that guy again. Because they do look very similar too.
Like I said, he actually was very interested, and he talked to Tony Gilroy about joining the series earlier than episode 6. Apparently, it wasn't much discussed. Here's what he said. I started lobbying very heavily to Tony to join the wedding sequence in episode 3, which was actually shot at the end of the schedule. I said, I know you've done this clever little reveal for Bail in episode 6, and we've already shot that, and it's very effective, but it could still work in the story, though. Should we not contemplate that I have this deep and long-term friendship with my fellow Senator Mon? I mean, doesn't it make sense that I would be at the wedding showing up with a gift? He said, I love your enthusiasm, but it's a very expensive idea. It's far too late for that.
Expensive idea?
Well, they'd have to redo a bunch of stuff.
Well,
because this was something they shot at the very, very end of the schedule, and he's like, hey, can I show up now?
Yeah, but you just have him show up and give him the gift and be like, I gotta go. Sorry.
Right, but at the same time,
Thanks for
he
the free
did
drinks.
kind of do this cool little reveal of Bail
Nah, I
in
agree.
episode 6,
You
and it
didn't
kind
need
of
him
would
there.
have ruined it, but it
Yeah.
would have also made sense that Bail was at the wedding.
It
You could just
would
assume that
have,
he
yeah.
sent a card. Maybe he realized he could not outdo the gift that Skolden had.
Well,
yeah.
it's his kids, so
Yeah.
kid, daughter, now kids, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Son.
Then they talked to him about the final scene that he is in Andor. That he and Andor, they had a couple of heated disagreements previously about using the information. How much do we trust Luthen? What is Luthen? But then he had kind of a send-off for him at the end. He says, and so that final scene that you mentioned, it's beautiful because on some level, in practical terms, it was an unnecessary personal visit. He could have easily given Cassian the orders through an intermediary, but to your point, I think it shows a few things about Bail. He is a level of compassion and empathy and finally recognizing I was wrong. And by me showing up, this is kind of, we have nothing in common, yet I'm here to try and find common ground. And what do we have in common more than anything else is our idealism to overcome the Empire. And so I realized that with these orders, I'm potentially sending you off to your death. It says, as for me, underlying whatever was happening in that scene was the probability that it would be the last time I would see him, but also a recognition that we are related here, because I expect at some point that will be my fate as well. As we come to learn, the Death Star is later turned on Alderaan and destroys Bail's home planet.
And Bail.
Mm-hmm. But that's the beauty of Tony's writing and his writing team. There's so much being said there with so little on the page. Of course, there are a lot of reasons why I signed on, but for me, the frosting on the cake was as an actor to be able to say a line that we all want to say, which is, may the Force be with you.
And we all know the frosting is the best part of the cake, so.
No, I like the cake part.
I know, that's why we make it.
Sometimes if they have raspberry filling, that might be the best part of the cake.
Anyway, I was happy he said it. It
Yes.
made sense that he said it.
It did because of his connections.
Yes. Leia is his daughter. Again, I've talked about it in the book Mask of Fear.
Mm-hmm.
He's in there. He's one of the main characters. He's kind of trying to exonerate the Jedi in a way, trying to get some evidence or proof that they were framed by Palpatine and all these sorts of things. So
yeah, there's a pretty... His opening in the book is really kind of sad because on Jeddah there's like a big stone that people are lining up to keep turning, and it's like a way of honoring the Jedi and everything, and he waits there and he takes his turn trying to turn this big rock because of everything he feels.
Yeah.
It was kind of heart-wrenching.
It was.
But they did ask if Ben was willing to return to the role at some point if asked, and he said he is wide open to that idea.
Cool. Kenobi season 2. There you go. Bail sends another message. That's what we could call it.
Bail's better message.
This time, no, it's going to be even worse, and then Kenobi has to go off planet try to stop all the disaster that comes from him and his
Bail's PR fiasco.
Yes.
Oh no.
I mean, you can only go backwards with him too. He's kind of reached the end of the line, so if he did come back to the role, he's got to, unless it's like his final hours on Alderaan or something like that. Otherwise, we're covered there at the end.
I wonder how Jimmy feels.
I don't know.
Watching Andor, if he watched Andor to see how his character was portrayed, to go, oh man, I really wish I would have had the time for that.
Yeah, I mean, who knows how much Jimmy is a Star Wars fan and how much he. I mean, I'm sure he cares about the character. I'm not saying that at all, but is he like, oh my god, this character is mine, and anybody who uses it, or I got to be. I don't know.
I mean, they put him in his outfit and everything.
His same outfit, yeah.
So I'm just curious, how he feels about the fact that some other actor had to fill his shoes, and
yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah,
I wonder if he'll be asked about it someday.
Well, let's move into new this week and Star Wars, etc. Tuesday is now vacant. Sad.
It's gonna be vacant for a long time till
don't talk about
Ahsoka
it. No,
season 2.
No, I mean, we don't know.
Yeah.
Isn't maybe Visions will come out on Tuesday?
Why?
We don't know.
Those come out. Well, it might. Usually those come out like a weekend or something. But yeah.
I thought it was October. I thought they gave a date.
Maybe like a Friday, but usually it's not a Tuesday. It's gonna be a long time before we have another Star Wars show.
Wednesday for comics. Dun da da da. Legacy of Vader.
Yes,
aka Love number 4.
Yeah. Have you read issue 3? I don't think you've read 3 yet.
You're right. I haven't. I mean, I left off on such a great spot. Him getting tortured at the end of the book by one of the Hutts without his shirt on, looking swole.
I'm surprised you, as soon as we picked it up, you weren't like, I need to just borrow that copy real quick.
All right, but
look, you're all flustered now.
I was gonna call it episode 4. That's why I got flustered. Issue 4. Kylo Ren explores Anakin and Padme's past.
Oh.
Yeah.
Does he can take a trip on the Star Cruiser?
Kylo and Vanny journey to the home planet of Kylo's grandmother Padme to learn more about Vader's dark secrets. Kylo must battle against Storg, whoever that is, and his raiders, and who will rule Naboo when all is said and done.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, he's going to Naboo. He's going to the Naboo.
I wanted him to go on the Star Cruiser and sleep in Han and Leia's honeymoon suite.
What if Jar Jar's there? Maybe Jar Jar tells him everything.
Jar Jar should be juggling in the town square and being made fun of for being a terrible person. Actually, that was years ago.
That was years ago, so he might be back on
Who
Naboo,
knows what's going on with Jar Jar at this
hanging
point.
out.
Yeah, Aftermath took Jar Jar.
Leading tours on Padme's life.
Jeez. Like, it's interesting, and this was brought up in our voice chat this week. He would have, what would they technically be to him? Because Padme had nieces that we see in Attack of the Clones, the deleted scenes, and I think they're referenced elsewhere. I think they're in the funeral as well of Padme.
Yes.
So there are living relatives to Padme.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, I mean, Jar Jar, there's no reason to say he couldn't be back there, and maybe he's hailed more as looked on in a better light at this point.
Maybe we just say Aftermath never happened, and that is eliminated because that's where that happens.
Or he took his clown act on the road. And
He's the big top now, yeah. Big
say?
top Jar Jar.
Okay, also for comics, High Republic, Fear of the Jedi, number 4, and High Republic Adventures, number 18. Thursday, voice chat, 8 p.m. Central Time. We're probably still going to be talking about Andor and any updates and extra information that we find. Also,
we'll be talking about Andor for the next year, but yeah. Got nothing
also,
else.
On Monday, next week, I plan on doing a Meme Monday. Yes, I know I've taken a break. It's a lot of work, and I have been very, very busy between...
They don't want excuses. They want Meme Mondays.
Well, I want to do an Andor edition of Meme Monday. So send to me on Discord, DM me, or you can ask one of the mods to put them in the delivery room for me. They know where that is.
Email you? Did you say email?
You can email me. Yeah. You can absolutely email me. And then I will collect them all, and we will try and do an Andor Meme Monday. It'll be full of spoilers and hopefully a good time all around.
Hopefully. But for now, that's all we got for you this time. So it's your turn. Take it to the comments below. Tell us what you think of any and all of today's news. And let's talk some Star Wars. And so until next time, thanks for watching.